What is up, everybody? How is it going? Austin Prechtelevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy Monday. Hope your day's off to a great start. Hope your week's off to a great start. We're going to jump into this one real quick. If you didn't see my post this weekend about this, then this is going to be some great information for you. And even if you did see that post, this will hopefully help you coming into the new year if you have a fitness journey goal or a weight loss goal. So, that all being said, um, yeah, let's jump into this. In one sec, I just heard something fall in my house, and I want to make sure that it wasn't one of the animals. So let's see. What is that? Anyways, all right, I'm back. I don't know what that was, but it was loud and something fell. But oh well. Anyways, so what we're doing today, what we're going to be talking about today, are 8 great tips to help you feel less hungry when it comes to your goals, when it comes to your weight loss goals. And just as a heads up, so if you get value from this, give this video a like. And also, what I was getting at is that I'm sick today, so I apologize for if I sound kind of not super energetic because I am living off of coffee and ibuprofen today. So we're getting it done though. Daycare crud is always fun, but you know, gotta focus on what you can control, not what you can't. And yeah, let's jump into it. So, and as you guys also might notice, is that I don't have anything hanging up behind me anymore because we're getting packed up because we're getting ready to move. So let's jump into this though. So, first tip: protein, protein. If you are not eating enough protein, you're gonna have a hard time with being hungry a lot. And getting enough protein in is such a great way to ensure that you're feeling satiated. Your body's gonna recomp properly because your body can't create muscle or repair muscle out of carbs or fat. It can only do it out of protein. And so it's also it's the most satiating of the macros that not only helps with hunger, but it's also, like I said, essential for body recomp. And it's got the highest thermic effect of food. So when compared to carbs and fat, your body requires more energy to break down protein than it does for carbs and fat. So in theory, the more protein that you eat, the more calories you technically are going to burn. So it can help with that too. Tip number 2 though, don't eat when you aren't hungry. If you are really hungry in the mornings, typically, but you're not so much hungry in the evenings, eat the majority of your food in the mornings. If you're way hungrier in the evening than you are in the mornings and you're not that hungry in the morning, don't eat in the morning. You don't have to eat whenever you're not hungry, or at the very least, just have a small meal, like during those periods of time when you aren't hungry, because save the calories when you are the hungriest. There's no point in eating a lot of calories whenever you don't actually feel like eating them, and then later in the day you're like, man, I'm starving, I wish I had more calories. Just wait and eat them later. So meal timing is like not super significant anyways at the end of the day. So if you want to save your calories for later in the day, then you should do that. So that can help too. That's tip number 2. So tip number 3 though, avoid liquid calories. Don't drink your freaking calories. Stop drinking fruit juice. Stop drinking orange juice. They're no better for you necessarily than like full sugar, like soda, right? Don't drink those. They're not super satiating. They actually have some of the lowest satiety out of all the foods. And so not only are they super calorie dense, right? Super calorie dense, but also they don't fill you up. So you're drinking a bunch of calories that aren't even making you feel full. So don't do that. So if you do drink soda, make it 0 calorie, or with like sugar alcohols and things like that. Like avoid full sugar like sodas. Avoid fruit juice for the most part. Like fruit juice is pretty much like it's fruit without the good stuff that you get from it, like with the fiber. And a lot of times, like through like the sifting processes and things like that, like you just getting a shit ton of like added sugar, or just like concentrated sugar, basically sugar juice. So avoid drinking your calories. Yeah. Number 4, tip number 4 though, low calorie dense foods. Eat those low calorie dense foods. Foods that you can eat a lot of, but for not a lot of calories. Examples being like cruciferous vegetables, like broccoli, cauliflower. Like you can eat a bowl of fucking broccoli with some like salt and pepper, like some other seasonings and stuff like that, and it's less than 100 calories. Like and it makes you feel full because it's full fiber. And yeah, so those are options there. Or like there's other foods like oatmeal, certain potatoes, depending on how you prepare them, can be very satiating. Again, high protein foods, lean proteins like chicken, turkey, fish. I mean, even lean ground beef or steak. Those are great options too that are going to help you feel full because again, they're they're fairly low calorie, but they're also like very filling in the long term. So other things too. There's like different like you can look it up. Like there's like there are ways that you can make like protein ice cream and things like that that are like very high volume and so they fill you up, but then again, not very calorically dense. So you're saving a lot of calories while still getting full. So that's also another tip there. Another one that I'm going to give you guys. So this one's debatable. It can help. I know for a fact like it helps me sometimes. It helps other people. Some people not so much. And it just makes you have to like. But either way, it's good to get more water in regardless because most people are dehydrated and don't drink enough water on a daily basis as is. So drink a few glasses of water or a 0-calorie drink leading up to the meal, which can help in a sense. It can kind of help prepare your stomach for the food that you're about to eat. It can also, you're adding volume into your stomach to an extent where it might help you feel full quicker during your meal. So that's another option. And then one that I kind of like that I think people, would benefit from just in general in terms of just, being more social is distract yourself to slow down on the food. So, have a couple bites and chat with your friends or family. Have a couple bites. Even if you're alone, have a couple of bites and, play around on your phone for a little bit in between. Have a couple bites. And then that will give your body time, give your stomach time to signal to your brain like, hey, I'm actually like, I'm kind of getting full here. Because we can eat a lot faster than our body than our stomach can kind of tell our brain that like, oh, hey, we're full. So that's an option too. That's something that I would suggest. Like, if you like playing games or if you like playing whatever, like have like a quarter of your meal and then play a game and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna eat the rest of it and then have a game, that kind of deal. Or again, if you have family around you, like celebrate with them or sharing a conversation, chat with them, that sort of thing. So that way you're slowly eating the food and actually enjoying it better too in that process. So the other thing, so this is not like medical advice or anything like that at all, but caffeine is an appetite suppressant, right? And you have to be careful with this. Caffeine and other stimulants are appetite suppressants, whether that be through caffeine or like ADHD medication or things like that, like Ritalin and Vyvanse and all those other things that people prescribe to help curb appetite. It's a stimulant, and so it basically kills your hunger, and so it can suppress it at least to an extent. And so, I've seen upward ranges of like anywhere from like 700 to 1,000 milligrams being okay for some people, but I know that I would have anxiety attacks and like panic attacks and stuff if I consume that much caffeine in a day, or at least I'm more prone to it. And some people like it can cause heart palpitations and all this other stuff. So like you have to be really careful. And for some people who are caffeine sensitive, it can be it can be bad. Like you can you could overdose on caffeine if you consume that amount all at once potentially. And so you need to be careful, right? Caffeine's not something to play with. But generally, I keep my caffeine consumption like between 300 and 400 milligrams or lower. Because once I get past that point, I get a little like I feeling a little like cracked out a little bit, and so I'm not a fan of that. And so yeah, but it can curb your appetite. Like having like for me, I wake up and I work out typically, and then I'll have like some fish. I'll take fish oil and like I'll have like a cup of black coffee, and then that gets me through the day until like 1 or 2, and then I'm like, okay, well now I'm kind of feeling a little bit hungry. I'll have a small meal, and then that'll hold me over until the evening when I'm really hungry, and then I get to have most of my calories in the evening like I want to. And so that can be a good way. It could be a strategy, and it does help with curbing your appetite. If you're not hungry, you're not going to eat, or you're going to be less likely to eat. So that's what I would suggest there, is caffeine. But, your body best. Don't go stupid crazy and drink a bunch of caffeine or consume a bunch of caffeine and then give yourself, like, heart palpitations and have to go to the ER. Like, nobody wants that. Don't do that to yourself. Be smart about it. But that's another suggestion, curbing your appetite in that sense, that can definitely help. It's just a tool, right? It's a tool that you can use to your advantage. But there is such thing as too much of a good thing, right? So the last thing I'll say, this is the last tip that I have for you guys, is reduce high palpability foods. And what do I mean by that? Foods that taste really good, foods that you really like, foods that you can't just have one of, that you seem to struggle with having in moderation. don't bring those things into the house, right? If you know that you're going to have a problem with resisting them, if it's going to challenge your willpower in a bad way, that you feel like you're, don't put yourself in a situation, right? Don't put yourself in a situation. Don't do that to yourself if you can help it, right? So avoiding having those types of foods in your house can definitely help. It helps some people, and I'm not saying you can't ever have those things again, but maybe don't bring it into your house. Maybe have like a small serving of it somewhere, or take it with you, or whatever it may be. But don't tempt yourself more than you need to. Especially around the holidays, right? Especially like a lot of times with Easter coming up, that's always one that people tell me. They're like, "There's so much candy in my house, it's crazy." We just got done with like Halloween was a couple months ago. It's just like don't do that to yourself. If you know that you're like a salt and vinegar chip addict, and you're like, oh, like I love these, and if I eat one, I'm probably gonna eat half the bag. Don't freaking bring them into your house, and then you won't have to worry about making that decision for yourself or being tempted and having to feel bad about it. So that's the last thing. That was the last thing I have for you guys. Those are my 8 great tips. I hope that these were helpful. I hope that you got value from this. If you did, let me know what your favorite is out of the things that I mentioned, or which one that you're going to start doing that you aren't doing right now. And give this video a like. Helps other people see it for sure. Helps other people see it. And yeah, I hope you guys got some value from this. And if you're watching this a later time, #replay. That way I know you saw it. I'm going to go drink some coffee and also chug some water, and take some more pain meds, and hopefully after my meeting in a half hour I might be able to squeeze in a nap. We'll see. I'm it's when you're sick, it's not fun, but I honestly I don't feel that bad. I feel pretty productive, but I'm just yeah, kids bringing daycare crud into the house. It's inevitable, but that's part of life. And actually, we did a live in the private group about embracing the chaos of life, because that shit ain't gonna stop. And if you think it is, yeah, life will never stop being crazy. It's just part of it. And so, yeah, yeah, we are stronger than our struggles. And this is just a little bug and an earache, and I'm gonna get through it. So, hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. Hope that you got value from this. Yeah, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. But other than that, I'm gonna get back to work, and I hope you have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your week. And yeah, Christmas is coming up. Happy holidays. Bye.